Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, I'd like to begin with a comment about something that is a little bit outside the jurisdiction of this committee, but is not outside your jurisdiction. I'm talking about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. As you know, large portions of my state are currently underwater, which is true for other members of this committee. I was just in the state in recent days surveying the damage from this historic flooding. It is quite significant. And I have to say, I've heard from my constituents in the state over and over again that they have had significant trouble in working with the Army Corps, both in terms of responsiveness, but also in terms of significant concerns about perhaps misplaced priorities by the Corps and their management of the river system. So I look forward to working with you on this, like to visit about it, and whether that's taking a look at the master manual or other reforms that we need to pursue to make sure as we face a year of historic flooding that this sort of thing does not keep happening and that we're able to meet the needs of folks who live and make their living along the river.
And Senator, if I may, first of all,
Please.
again, our hearts go out for the folks affected by the flooding, your constituents. What I'd like to do is get the Corps of Engineers up here today to your office and find out what's going on.
Great, thank you very much.
And then we can tackle it, and then we'll take it back down to the district level and make sure we get working on it ASAP.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I just want to offer a word of praise, Mr. Secretary, both to you and to you, General, for your leadership in reform, modernization, pursuit of the NDS priorities, I think in really making the Army perhaps the leading service in terms of pursuing reform and modernization. It's really impressive what you have done in this most recent budget and your leadership overall, so thank you for that. Let me ask you an NDS-related question. I'm wondering about, thinking about the Indo-Pacific, does the Army have plans? What are the Army's plans to contribute with INF range conventional missile systems in that theater to restoring our conventional edge against China? General, go ahead.
I don't want to go into classified briefings, but we've got a variety of capabilities, emerging capabilities that we're going to deploy to the Pacific theater that we think will have significant impact on any potential conflict that could emerge in that area. We are experimenting that with what we're calling multi-domain task forces. We're establishing 2 of those. Well, one of them is in the Pacific, and they are experimenting with the doctrine or the new concepts of multi-domain operations. And that task force will be equipped with a variety of capabilities that will be able to establish dominance from the land in space, cyber, perhaps maritime as well, not subsurface, but surface to be sure, as well as air. So there's a variety of capabilities that we're going to deploy and a variety of cannon, rocket, and missile capabilities from the land that will have a significant impact. Just did a civets with Admiral Davidson and Undersecretary McCarthy and the Vice Chief of Staff McConville. We're out there just last week, and we were talking about that very issue. And we'll be introducing some of that stuff in exercises over the course of the next 24 months.
Great. Thank you very much. Let me switch theaters, but a similar set of questions about the NDS, thinking about now the Army in the context of the joint force in the Baltics and this Baltic scenario that the NDS talks about. How have you made progress on that? What do you still need? What are your plans to get there?
Again, most of those exercises that we've done and in the analysis we've done is classified. We are keenly aware of Russian capability with respect to the Baltics. We are shoulder to shoulder with the Baltic nations of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, as well as Poland. And the rotation of forces, the EDI, the exercises we're doing and the capabilities that we're deploying, we think will be sufficient to cause pause for any further Russian aggression.
Mr. Secretary.
Senator, you made a very important point. You said, what do you need? What we need is this budget. Because the Russians are building new tanks. The Russians are modernizing their fighting vehicles. They are modernizing their air defense systems. Across the board, they are doing things that we need to get on with doing. And this budget and the billions of dollars we shift will get us there, so we're prepared to deter them and, if necessary, defeat them should war come.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Mr. Secretary General, for your leadership. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.